second point is the external validation loop. I call this the anxiety loop. And the reason why I call it the anxiety loop is because it's a vicious cycle that sucks you in, and it's very hard to get out. We live in a world of social media and constant performance reviews by complete strangers, people that don't know anything about you, but yet you find value on their likes and comments more than how you validate yourself for creating the content foremost. But the question is, why do we rely so much on these external validations? But it has to do a lot with today, how do we want to be rewarded? And it's very simple. Think about it. How one like gives you immediate gratification, how entertainment keeps you viciously finding something that will stimulate you more and more. And it's so easy, right? It's just with a touch of a button, a digital button. It's so simple. There's no effort that needs to be made. So what happens in your mind is you start creating dopamine. And that dopamine makes you feel good. But eventually, when you stop producing, Eventually, when we start looking at all the likes, the approval from our bosses, what is left in you? How did you approve yourself? Did you do good by your side? Did you recognize and rewarded yourself with grace and dignity? Should that weigh more than someone saying, good job, or putting there a like? And it's all about that internal battle to accept who you are with your faults and also with all your virtues. To define our internal value is to understand that if we tried something, even if it's not a Hollywood production, because in this era, in this digital era, podcasts, even simple videos are done like it's almost a cinematic trailer. And we forget that you can have the best visuals, but if the content and the message are not good, what are you putting out? So if you know that your intentions and what you put out was good enough for you, whatever you get externally, even if you get 1 like or 1,000,000 likes, you should still feel satisfied. The fact that you did the work and you're proud of what you have done. And the same thing at work. At work, if you know that you gave 100% and that you did it for the right reasons, even if it's not recognized, even if others are recognized for doing less, you have to validate the fact. You have to validate the fact that you did what you could with what you knew. And also, everyone has a personal account in their life. At some point, somebody is going to recognize your hard work in silence. So avoid, when we let others hold the key to our self-worth, we become little puppets. We become a body without a soul that is just looking for others to fill in what we should fill in for ourselves. But again, our value, nobody can take away our value. Just like we are responsible to input information to create more skills and value. It's a daily decision we make if we want to increase our value and our self-love and self-sufficiency. In the same way, when things go wrong, nobody can take our value away, because when we learn from our mistakes, it's also a valuable lesson. So value is always in us. Imposter syndrome has created the crisis of authenticity. Think about it. If you don't expose your convictions and you don't stand by your convictions, then who are you? What is your identity? Who are you trying to portray? And the question is very simple. Not you. You're trying to impress everyone except yourself. And the worst part is your unconscious mind knows that you're living a lie. It reminds you, why are you doing this? Why are you taking these steps that are hurting you? Why can't you be honest with yourself? And that's one of the hardest things in psychology, is being honest with ourselves, because it's painful, because it's shameful, because we feel guilty. But it's one of the most common things we do is we blame the world, because it's easier to blame the world than to accept who we are and take responsibility to grow. To grow requires a lot of sacrifices and a lot of suffering. But at the end, we build ourselves to be okay internally and externally. And we create healthy rules based on love, based on unity, based on acceptance, and also based on understanding others as well, and welcoming people to understand you, and being okay with your flaws, but also learning on how to create a new skill set from your flaws and overcome that challenge as well. The worst thing is when we lie to ourselves. This cognitive dissonance creates anxiety, creates that projection of, are we good enough? And when we ask ourselves that question, are we good enough? We're doubting the fact of who we are and our identity, when we doubt ourselves, how hard it is to give, how hard it is for us to take the next step. Think about you going to a battlefield without a shield, without the proper equipment, without the proper tools. You will feel the nakedness in you, that you weren't prepared. And this is exactly what we need to avoid, because anxiety is going to make you question yourself through all the infinite possibilities of what the future can bring. And yet, the most important thing is you are in control of that future, depending on the actions you take to prepare yourself, and also have a strategy and a plan to achieve, and also be flexible to modify things in the process. Modifying yourself makes you adaptable, makes you understand that it's okay to take a different route when a door or path is closed. And again, when you start recognizing that you're taking these different paths and you're adventuring to find who you are, the feeling of being fake starts vanishing. It's simply your authentic self is pushing back to come out and be the real mask that you should be wearing. Be the real you. Be the person that when they're watching a drama, they tear up. It's okay. I tear up when I watch a good movie that is very sentimental. But we must understand and accept who we are. And if we don't do that, we will cause many anxiety disorders. But the worst thing is that anxiety is going to create a fake world for us that will make us doubt every step we take. But we can avoid it if we learn how to accept ourselves and expose who we truly are and work to being responsible if we want to overcome challenges and overcome imposter syndrome. Welcome back again at Thick Skill Podcast, where we explore human experiences. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do not forget our campaign. We are committed to transform your subscriptions into pro bono programs for mental health, so you can free somebody's mind from their traumas and help them heal just by subscribing. Very simple, and it costs absolutely nothing. Help us through this campaign, and we just want to pay forward, not only to our viewers, but for those that can't afford mental health services. Just remember, the statistics are real. Only 4 out of 10 Americans can afford mental health services. So help us change that. Hopefully, we can move the statistics and perhaps move it from 4 to 5 out of 10 people have good mental health services.
Let's start.